Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 4th of March. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. This week we have Data#3, Strike Resources, JB Hi-Fi, Credit Corp and BWX. So if you have a request, send it through. Make sure you're getting the free newsletter every week, but if you're after my direct ideas and research, then you need to be getting the Dynamic Investor Report, which comes out every Tuesday. But if you do enjoy these videos, please share them on social media or even leave us a review on Facebook and Google. The core part of our business is on the portfolio management side. So if you do need further help with your portfolio, then please give me a call. Any advice in these videos, of course, it's general only. So this is daily chart of Data#3. If I just zoom in a bit, it was actually looking pretty good a month ago. So interesting to see that we had this bounce in November, basically a sideways motion, and then we had this very nice breakout. But as we could see, the breakout failed. So a few days later, it was back in the range, which was a negative sign. And it's continued to fall. So it's testing the November low. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it's able to hold. I mean, it has bounced in the last couple of days. What I need to see is a proper rally here. So if this is a false break now on the downside, we need to see a proper rally here to show that all the sellers are exhausted. But yeah, worth keeping an eye on the next day or two. If it continues to sag, I think that you're going to get lower levels. Okay, Strike Resources. So this is actually one that I looked at in the Dynamic Investor back here in January, because what we noted was this classic sort of cup and handle formation, and then you had a clear break with volume coming in. So the shares only kicked on for a few days. I mean, they did go up almost 50%, but only lasted a few days, and now they've come back. So share price has decreased. However, we can see that the volume is low on the way down, which is a good sign. So basically, it's testing the break, and all we need to see now is a rally off these levels. I wouldn't just step in and buy it just because it's here. I want to see a proper rally on good volume, and that's the next buy signal. Otherwise, if we don't get that pretty much in the next day or two now, I'd say that it's going to continue drifting, and then you'd be looking at this sort of 14 cent region as the next area of support. All right, JB Hi-Fi. So this is another one that I guess has had a bit of a break that failed. Seems to be a common theme over the last few weeks in this market. Nothing seems to be following through, which I guess is a bit of a sign of weakness. But coming back to JB Hi-Fi, we can see that obviously we had this sideways period here. There was a bit of a tightening consolidation, and then it looked like it was breaking up on the back of the result, but then just didn't follow through. So fell back into the range, obvious support at $50, and then it broke that. So making the chart looking quite negative, and as we could see, it continued to fall all the way down to the December low. So at the moment, it's reversed just above that December low. You know, ideally you'd like to see it bounce from here, but you know, this I guess the severity of this fall just has me a bit wary that this might just be a short-term bounce and then it might roll over. So look, if you're looking to buy it, sure, keep an eye on it here. I think it's too early to be buying this. Just based on this price action. Just be really careful if it breaks that support level. Credit Corp, well, I mean, this is almost a perfect example of what you want to see in an uptrend, really. It's heading up beautifully. We've got big impulsive moves on volume, and then it corrects sideways. Then you get another big move on volume, sideways, big volume move up, sideways correction. You could see just building on top of itself like a set of steps. So nothing wrong with the way this is trading, that's for sure. So it should just continue heading higher from here, just looking at this chart. And basically I'd look at the previous low as the stop level. So as we could see, it's making higher lows, and as soon as it breaks one of those lows, then the uptrend's over. So at the moment it's definitely a hold, and if it breaks the prior low, then that's, as I said, that means the uptrend's over. BWX, so we have another stock that had a break which didn't follow through, but in this case a bit more of a positive one. So bounce off the November low, tightening range, and then we had this downside break here. So it looked very dangerous, but as we could see, within a couple of days it had reclaimed the range here, which means that this was a false break on the downside. So it's basically shaken out. Just a classic example of just all the sellers being shaken out, and then big money coming in to push it back up. And as we could see, when you get a false break in one direction, it goes back into the range and then pushes through beyond the other side of the range, and that's what we could see here. So sellers have been shaken out. This is now rallying. So it looks good. Short term, we've got this profit taking here. So, again, just need to see what it does. If it comes back into this range, then that would be a negative, but we might just be seeing some short-term profit taking. And if we could see a reversal from here, then it's likely to continue heading higher. Okay, well, that's all for this week. Please send through your request. I'll try to cover your stock next week for you.